Now, nobody talks about that strange grief you feel in outgrowing your old self while still becoming a version of you that you've never seen. You know that feeling where you don't really hate who you are, but you are no more comfortable in that version. It's just like clothes that no longer fit. You know that feeling of there is more to my life, that feeling of this version is not enough anymore. You know that feeling, right? So that is what we'll be talking about in today's video. We'll be talking about that feeling of restlessness, the season of awakening, and we'll be talking about the transition. Today's video is something I'm so much excited about because we'll be talking about becoming your highest self, becoming more, becoming who God has created you to be. So let's dive into today's video. Hey girl, I'm Chioma and I make videos about purpose and personal growth. If this is something that resonates with you, you are welcome. Subscribe because this growth journey, this transformation journey, this journey of purpose, this journey of self-improvement is going to be so exciting. So without any further ado, let's dive into today's video. There is this uncomfortable season before the glow up where the old version of you stops fitting and the new has not yet fully arrived. And you're just there in between two seasons. You feel lost, feel restless, but you see that restlessness, that pull, that whisper inside of you, that's a calling. It's a call for more. So let's talk about the shift, the transition, the awakening, what it actually takes to stop holding back and start becoming more. I know that feeling so well because I've been there. And in this video, I'll be sharing with you my own story and how you too can transition from where you currently are to where you need to be. Actually, about a year ago, nothing dramatic happened, but I just knew. So there was no drama, but it was just a quiet moment with myself. I just knew that the time for a shift had come. So I had this longing sitting inside me that I could no longer ignore. A longing for more growth, more knowledge, like there was an untapped potential sitting inside of me. And so I just felt God calling me to step out. Despite the fact that I tried ignoring it due to fear, you know, the fear of the unknown, that voice kept coming back. Like I could no longer ignore it. And so the old version of me started to feel like clothes that could no longer fit in. I was no longer comfortable with doing the less. I was no longer comfortable just scrolling online, watching people's life. I just felt like there was so much more. My comfort no longer felt comfortable. And so I just knew that something had shifted. I started asking myself so many hard questions. I started choosing growth over comfort, discipline, knowledge. I started investing in my mindset. I started implementing tiny habits that would make me a better person every single day. Now the transition, the shift didn't just happen overnight, but slowly I became intentional. I became more disciplined. I started showing up as the future version of myself. So if you have that longing, that restlessness, that pull, that strong, quiet desire inside of you, I want you to know that it's not just random. It's a call. It's a call for more. Now, let me walk you through the steps that actually helped me on my journey. Step one is the identity shift. This one is the most important. I went back to the source and I asked God to show me who I was. Because he said in Jeremiah 1 verse 5 that before you were formed in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I chose you. I ordained you. So that means your identity, my identity, was validated even before time began, was validated before God sent us into this world. And who knows a product more than the manufacturer himself? So I went back to God and I started asking him to show me myself, to show me who he has called me to be. And God started doing his work in me. He started revealing my identity to me. The exciting thing about it is that because our identity was validated in eternity, even before we came into this world, that means nothing can change it. Not our mistakes, not our past, not the trauma. Not even people's opinion about us can change who God has called us to be. So I think this first part is so important because every other thing would be built on this foundation. You begin to see yourself through God's eyes. And the moment you begin to see yourself the way God sees you, you can no longer live small. You can no longer live a life of mediocrity because the God who has called you is an excellent God. And the second step is healing. This one too is so important because, girl, you can't step into a new version carrying the weight of an unhealed one. Your soul needs healing because the soul is like a storage system where all your emotion, pain, your trauma, everything is stored up. And if these things are not dealt with, they become a belief system on which you now build your life. You must also know that an unhealed person becomes vulnerable. You become so vulnerable to fear, to control. It will be so easy for you to compromise. So you need to submit your pain, you need to submit your trauma to God. And if you also need it, you can still seek professional help. The goal is for you to show up authentically. You must show up in your real self. So the third one is journaling. Okay, this one, I also love it so much because it helps you introspect. Like, I just had to sit with myself and ask some difficult questions. I asked myself, who am I now? Who do I want to become? How does the woman I want to become show up? How does she dress? How does she speak? What does her routine actually look like? The next one is, in 12 months from now, where do I want to be? Where do I see myself? What do I want to be known for? What legacy am I building? So writing those answers down helped me to visualize my future self, and it became so real. It was no longer just a feeling. It gave me structure to know how to show up. It gave me structure for the life I'm currently building. The last one is intentional living. I made a decision every day to show up as my future self, to implement daily habits that would help me become this version of myself, that will help me get closer to the future I'm building, to help you show up consistently, to help you become more intentional. If you can, don't hesitate to join a community. So what I also did for myself this year was I joined Winnie School of Excellence, and shout out to Miss Winnie and her team, and also to my excellent elite family. Every day we show up consistently. So the community helps us to keep going. Miss Winnie encourages us, motivates us, and she helps us to just keep going and become better versions of ourselves. And if this is something that you like to do for yourself, girl, get in, because the biggest investment you can ever make is in yourself. So if you desire growth and community, the doors to Winnie School of Excellence are still open. So just jump in and you will be totally transformed. And before this video ends, I just want to tell you, to remind you that that quiet voice inside you, that restlessness, that strong desire, it's not confusion. It's a call for more. It's a divine invitation to rise into the fullest version of who God has called you to be. And I just hope you would respond, because that version of you is worth chasing. There is so much greatness inside of you, so much to be uncovered. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and share with someone who needs this video. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.